Hi everyone, and welcome to a somewhat different episode of Noodle Journey. Today I'm going to review Trader Joe's Squiggly knife cut style noodles with soy and sesame sauce. Wow, that's a mouthful. And also kind of a ridiculous name. Squiggly? Really? Is the word wavy trademarked? Anyway, for my viewers not in the USA, Trader Joe's is an immensely popular supermarket chain that sells stuff that's exclusively branded for their store. They don't manufacture all their own stuff, but rather they have deals with other manufacturers where they will brand their own products with a Trader Joe's label for them to sell in their stores. And so that leads us to this, which is a product that I believe came out just this month, January of 2023, and is very clearly an attempt to capitalize on the popularity of Momofuku and Ashan noodles by selling their own Taiwanese noodle kits. I almost passed these by, but there's some interesting stuff about this that separates it from Momofuku's offerings, and so I thought it was worth a review, especially if you love shopping at Trader Joe's. So, what are these exactly? Taiwanese knife-cut style noodles means that they were made in Taiwan using a machine to simulate noodles that are hand-cut into this shape, meaning that traditionally someone would make a sheet or ball of dough and cut them by hand right into the cooking vessel and then air dry them. And of course the cutting by hand part is completely impractical if you're going to mass market something like this, which is why it's in the style of. I love Taiwanese noodles. There's actually an incredible Taiwanese restaurant not far from me that does these kinds of noodles for real. And you may also know from my Momofuku reviews how much I love this type of noodle, even if a couple of the sauces Momofuku packages in their noodles aren't great. Momofuku uses a Taiwanese company called Asha to make the noodles, and I don't know for sure that they didn't make the noodles in here for Trader Joe's, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did. They're kind of the foremost industry expert on Taiwanese noodles. If I can find out someday who actually makes these for Trader Joe's, I will update the video description to mention it. So with all that out of the way, let's check these out. This was $4.99 for a 4-pack at my Trader Joe's, and each pack in here contains 920 milligrams of sodium, which may seem high to some folks, but hey, if this is your first foray into my channel, it is honestly not that bad in the instant noodle world. So let's look inside here. So inside each of the 4 packs in here is a portion size this large of their squiggly noodles. And these are authentic Taiwanese noodles made from a simple mixture of wheat, salt, and water, and then air dried, not fried. And then there is a sauce packet that is actually mildly interesting. Beyond soy sauce and sesame oil, this also contains shallots and shallot oil, chili sauce, garlic powder, and a few other spices. Far more interesting than Momofuku's basic soy sauce inclusion. These do appear to be vegan, but of course check for yourself. I'll go cook these noodles right now and be right back to add the sauce. And here we go. These boil for 4 minutes, and then we put the sauce on after they're completely drained. So here's that part. So it looks like the oil and the soy sauce might have separated a little bit in this bag. You might want to give this a quick shake before you pour this in, if you're making this for yourself. All right, a quick stir. Right now, the only 2 smells I'm getting are soy sauce and sesame oil, which is not a bad thing. But that shallot oil I was hoping I would smell is not really here. Still, smells pretty good. Oh, yeah, something really funny I wanted to mention before I get into this. There's actually a website called TraderJoe'sReviews.com that I was poking around just to see what other people think of this while the noodles were cooking. And the first review is from a gentleman named Peter, saying the directions on this item are highly ambiguous. Are the noodles to be boiled? If so, for how long? Strained with hot water? Consider updating the directions, as I'm still not sure what I'm supposed to be doing with these. Peter, dude, in the time it took you to write that stupid review, you could have just read the back of the package. So way to go. You're immortalized on the internet forever now. as the guy who couldn't figure out how to boil noodles. Congratulations. Anyway, now that I've insulted Peter, let's give these noodles a try. Alright, so let me talk about the quality of these noodles first. I have no evidence that these are Asha's noodles, but if not, they are practically identical. They are terrific texture, not mushy, extremely chewy, and very wheat forward in flavor. If you've never had noodles like these before, they're very close to an al dente fettuccine noodle. I gave Asha's noodles for Momofuku a 10 out of 10 in my earlier reviews, and regardless of who actually manufactured these, they are so close to that experience that they are also a 10 out of 10. They're great noodles. Now the spice level. There is chili pepper in this sauce, like I mentioned earlier, but it is not extremely spicy. Honestly, it's not very spicy at all. I kind of thought it might be one of those things that sneaks up on you because you're not expecting it, but it's really, really tolerable. Nothing crazy. I would call this a 2 out of 10 on the spiciness scale at best. And so, with all the ingredients in this, what does it taste like? Well, obviously the soy sauce and the sesame oil are pretty strong. They are the most obvious flavors. There's a little bit of onion there too. It's a somewhat nice balance. The chili pepper doesn't really have any flavor to speak of, and I'm getting a little bit of garlic, but not much else as far as other spices go. Also, there's just barely enough sauce for these noodles. Seriously, like another half a teaspoon probably would have been enough. You can see there's some parts that didn't get coated properly. There's also no garnishes in here. So just like Momofuku, this is a pretty basic blank slate that you could use as a side dish or a start to your meal. So, even though the sauce is comparatively basic, I do like the flavor in this better than 2 of Momofuku's 3 current offerings. And so, I think this is worth a score slightly better than middle of the road. So how about a 5.5 out of 10 overall on its own merits? I think if you go into this with the expectation of it being a complete meal, you'll probably be a little underwhelmed. If you're looking for something to dress up for a more elaborate meal, then this isn't a bad place to start. As a matter of fact, the Momofuku hack video I filmed a while back would be great here, so check that out if you're interested. Either way, you've got some excellent noodles here, paired with a tasty, if not overly simplistic sauce, so check it out at your nearest Trader Joe's if this interests you. I've got one more review video coming from Trader Joe's products next, and then back to the usual rotation of noodles not tied to a specific store. So with that, I will just remind you to please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in my content, and I hope to see you on the next episode of Noodle Journey.